Americans are rethinking what retirement really looks like. A new Fidelity study finds more than 70% expect to retire on their own terms, with many opting for a flexible transition instead of fully stepping away from work. So what does this new retirement playbook look like? And how can you start planning now for it? Joining us now to discuss is Rita Ossoff, Vice President of Retirement Offerings at Fidelity Investments. Good morning, Rita. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. So I know you're going to help us out today. How is it that Americans are reimagining how retirement is defined?
So our study found that Americans aren't just redefining what it means to retire, but most are embracing a different approach to retiring. So instead of the age-old hard stop in their career and then retiring, more people are designing a flexible next chapter. And that looks like phasing down work or potentially turning a passion into a small business, or even finding part-time work to help make for that gradual transition into retirement. And so nearly 70% of Americans say they're considering a non-traditional path like this. And 72% say they feel confident they'll be able to retire on their own terms, in part because of this phased approach, but also because they have a plan to reach their retirement goals.
This is interesting information. What's the why behind it? What's causing Americans to adopt this new perspective?
I'd say first is planning. So our research consistently finds that having a plan is the #1 confidence booster. And so those that have a plan are actually more than twice as likely than their peers to feel confident about their retirement prospects. And it's within that plan that where phased approach can kind of come up. But I would say second, day-to-day expenses are still very much top of mind. And our study found that the rising cost of living remains a major competing priority with saving for retirement, with almost 1/2 of Americans saying it limits their ability to save. So that's partially why we're seeing so many choose to ease into their retirement. It keeps people earning some income while still experiencing their goal to retire.
It is an interesting paradigm shift. Paint the picture for us, Rita. What does a phased approach actually look like?
Well, retiring doesn't mean your day-to-day expenses magically go away. So a phased approach allows you to begin drawing less from your savings than you would if you fully retired. So this gradual transition into full retirement is key for some people. And it can be as simple as asking your employer about working fewer hours. Some people try freelancing or contract work. Some people find a part-time job that had nothing to do with what they were formerly doing when they were working full-time. And they enjoy this because it provides them with the income they need to gradually transition into full retirement. So the goal is a smooth path. You keep purpose and some level of income while you then line up the essentials for your retirement. That includes figuring out how healthcare will work, how your income sources will come together, and when it might make sense to fully step away.
Rita, if someone says, hey, I want to start this plan now, what are some concrete steps people can take to really put this type of retirement plan in motion?
So I'd say first, make sure you have an actual plan that's tailored to you. A good plan should bring into alignment your retirement goals, your saving strategy, and your retirement needs. Second, it's about putting it into action. So aim to save at least 15% of your pre-tax income each year for retirement. That includes any employer match if you have access to one. And while that might seem a lot, consider just automating small contribution increases as your salary goes up. Third, consider how you will cover large expenses in retirement. For example, healthcare is often the largest expense that we see in retirement. And so if you're eligible, an HSA can help you with setting aside money for future medical costs. And then finally, make sure you're invested properly. You want to have a diversified mix of investments. And what that means is the right amount of stocks, bonds, and cash to stay on track to meet your retirement goals, your risk tolerance, and your time horizon.
Great information, Rita. Thanks for the advice. And we've got the web address right up on the screen for our viewers to find out more. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
Are your